You showed your fucking card. Bless American. I'm having issues. Can I just have a normal day? Normal. Be great. Normal. Y'all looking at Abigail?
Normal's not allowed.
Not in our house. It always tends to happen. I freaking swear, it's so dumb. Eee, a picture of my butt in her face. Sorry, I opened one of my. It still doesn't look like. It looks like I'm too far over.
You said it was 9/11 unforgettable day?
Yeah. There we go. There. It looks normal now. God, such a tard. I'll explain in a minute what I did. Because I guess none of you deserve to watch our life today. Why? I wanted to do it myself. Should be just you smell good. Unforgettable day. Having a great time here, folks. Great time. So I opened this. You guys can't really see it because she's trying to do the thing. This is a popcorn bucket. New from Munchlings. You got it at Walmart. You can get Cheshire Cat. You can get the Alien from Toy Story. You can get Minnie Mouse. You can get Stitch. And when you open it up, you get little bitty figures. This is supposed to be like the caterpillar. There it is. Right there.
Yay, I found
Caterpillar.
it finally after searching for what seemed like days. Oh my god. I'm sorry, guys. I am exhausted.
How was your trip, Abigail? Let's start off with your trip.
It was
How
good.
was it?
It was good. It was tiring. And then I had a really bad flare up and I could barely see on the third day. My face was so swollen and red. And then it happened again the fourth day. And then on the fifth day, we were driving home. It was still happening. And now I'm taking medication to make it that my face looks normal.
Sorry.
But other than that, it was great. I loved it. We rode almost every single ride. I got Justin a rope drop.
Which doesn't not ever happen.
Which I don't know how I did it, but I did it. I got him a rope drop. I was up at 4:00.
You didn't tell me that. Good God.
The morning we rope dropped, I was up at 4:30 a.m.
Jesus.
and I just sat in bed. I got ready too.
Wow.
So when Justin woke up at like 5:30, I was fully clothed on my phone, sitting in the bed next to him.
Right. Jesus.
I think he realized at that moment there was no saying no to rope dropping.
That's how you got him to rope drop then, because your butt was up early.
And then the next day we got there at like 8. So we didn't get there at rope drop, but we got there right after. But yeah, it was fun.
Nice. How was the Oogie Boogie Bash experience for yourself?
The Oogie Boogie Bash, I really did like it. I will be honest, I partially could not fully enjoy it because I was hurting. But the parts that I could enjoy, I really did like. It was fun.
What was your favorite part of it?
Honestly, trick-or-treat lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to walk around the park. Because it's not like they're clustered in one area. It's you got to walk around the park and like see the park and like.
I love seeing in the park at night because it's so pretty when it's all lit up and whatnot.
Well, since we went there, the sun wasn't going down until like 8:00. So most of the time we were.
Hard to see it at night then.
Yeah, we were out of the park around 8 or 9.
Okay.
Um simply because me and Justin were so tired because we'd been up since like 5 or 4 and
4.
we were like, I can't do this anymore.
I mean, hey Willow. No Willow butt.
Willow
Hey, Willie's getting
butt.
everybody getting Willow butt. Willow butt. Come on. Come down here. You can't be up there. Thank you. Thank you. But
yeah.
nice. I'm glad that you had a fun time.
Yeah, the trip was really, really nice. It was really, really needed.
Yeah.
And now I just need to get back into the hang of things and the swing of things.
Because you don't go back to work till Wednesday.
I don't go back to work till Wednesday. So I've been working on the Salem witch trial one all day. You can ask her. I have been sitting here at the computer taking mini breaks, but
Probably why you got a headache.
yeah,
Because
probably.
because you haven't been here for a whole week doing the
research and
the
stuff
research
like that.
and stuff. So you're probably got a headache from that and being in front of it too. And not only that, maybe it's the medication too that's causing
Yeah.
some issues.
But other than
Hi.
that, how was your week?
It was all right. It was good. Pretty much almost in the fitting room about every day. We got a new girl that she was put in the fitting room a few times, so I could help work freight. I trained her a little bit yesterday on how to do picks for fashion. Um, did start some research. I did start some research yesterday.
You know what? It's one of those.
Yeah, it is. Because you know what my stupid ass did? Let me tell you what I did. So we start trying to figure out how if we can find it on the freaking TV. And guess what? My stupid ass put it as private, so none of you can
And
watch.
I'm over here like I'm looking up
find it.
everything. I was like, 9/11, an unforgettable day. J&M Adventure, just looking through J&M Adventures, finding the site.
There was nothing.
I was like, why is it not here? Michelle, did you put it as private?
See, if I would have been able to keep the part before this, it was pretty funny because I got into the market and I go, I fucked up and got real close. So yes, I messed up, did that. So we had to start all over again. You know us, we never start right at 5.
Yeah.
And I was trying to because I made the Italian sausage potato soup again.
Oh, that sounds good.
So yeah, and then I'm also trying to think in my brain. Like I did write my notes. Like I told her, I need to get me a different type of laptop just to do for stuff like this. And I have a tablet here because there's an article that I found that I want to go over, and there's also information, more information on here because there was a lot of questions underneath the research I was doing, and there's a lot that we kind of didn't know. There's some things she's going to share too that when she was younger, what happened.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, there's just put it this way, there's a lot, and I'm not like Abigail. I don't sit the whole week and try to do research. Mine is usually the day before or the day of. So I did get some research, and then looking at all the research, I don't know why I picked the biggest events or the biggest stories because we know I'm not going to get all that research written down. So hence why I have my tablet out today so I can kind of not resort to it, but just be able to look back on what I have found myself.
If you're really interested, about because this was something I was like, what was the number one song during 9/11? And that was something that popped into my head a while back.
Okay.
And I saw a TikTok creator named Promania.
Mhm.
If you don't know who he is, he's hilarious. He was all like, "You're asking the wrong questions," and that's like he was like, "You're asking the wrong questions. The real question is, what songs were banned after 9/11?"
Oh, jeez.
It turns out iHeartRadio, it was called at the time it was not called iHeartRadio. It was instead called Clear Channel.
Mhm.
Had 160 songs that were banned from being played on the radio.
Oh my
It
lord.
wasn't banned, but it was a hey, best not play these songs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, come on. Can I? Are they songs that everybody are gonna know?
Duck and Run by Three Doors Down.
Can I guess one?
Yeah.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
I think Bodies was one of them.
Oh my god. I had to guess that because
yeah.
dude.
Highway to Hell by AC/DC. Safe in New York City by AC/DC. TNT by AC/DC.
Of course, most of the songs for AC/DC
Alice
are
in
going to be
Chains, Sea
banned.
of Sorrow.
Oh, jeez.
The Animals, We Gotta Get Out of This Place. What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong was banned.
Oh, oh my God.
Walk Like an Egyptian by the Bangles.
And we'll explain that one.
Falling for the First Time by the Bare Naked Ladies. Sabotage by the Beastie Boys. Ticket to Ride, the Beatles.
Sorry, that was messed up. Falling for the first time. That's rude.
Yeah.
That's oh my God.
War Pigs by Black Sabbath.
Oh, I've actually heard about that song.
Uh,
People said that song was about. If you listen to Sharon, I'm going to cut it on that one because people complained about that song.
yeah.
It is called War Pigs. Yes, that's the title of it. But if you actually listen to the lyrics, it's not what you people think.
Yeah.
She has said that. It's not what you think. It's not it's not the title. War Pigs. That's just because it says War Pigs does not mean that that's what that song is about. So she literally said before you start judging the song from the late great Ozzy Osbourne, listen to the lyrics before saying anything and before casting judgment. What happened?
Pat Benatar.
Oh no. No.
Hit me with your best shot.
Oh my God. This is horrible. Okay, remember our nervous laugh.
Petula Clark. A Sign of the Times.
Oh my God.
Phil Collins. In the Air Tonight.
Oh my God.
Skeeter Davis. The End of the World.
Well, I mean, everybody thought it.
Neil Diamond, America. The Doors, The End. Drowning Pool Bodies.
Oh my God. I knew it. I knew it was on there.
Foo Fighters.
Oh no.
Learn to Fly. That's terrible.
That is terrible.
The Gap Band. You Dropped a Bomb on Me. You can't see Michelle right now, but she's unable to move.
Oh my God. These are horrible.
They are horrible. Green Day, Brain Stew. The Happenings. See You in September.
Really?
The Hollies. He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother.
Wow.
Billy Joel. Only the Good Die Young. Elton John's Rocket Man.
Oh my God.
Kansas. Dust in the Wind.
Oh my God.
Lenny Kravitz, Fly Away. Led Zeppelin, Stairway to Heaven. There's so many. Paul McCartney and Wings, Live and Let Die.
Oh my Lord.
Metallica, Enter Sandman.
I was going to say Sandman.
Fates of Black, Harvester of Sorrow, and Seek and Destroy. All 4 of those songs are banned.
Jeez. Woo. That's
9 Inch Nails, Head Like a Hole.
my God.
Ozzy Osbourne, Suicide Solution.
Jesus.
Tom Petty, Free Fallin'.
Oh my God.
Elvis Presley, You're the Devil in Disguise.
Oh.
Queen. Another One Bites the Dust. And Killer Queen.
That's just messed up.
Rage Against the Machine. It's just a note that says old.
Oh no.
Because if you haven't heard, Rage Against the Machine is a punk band that basically is very much anti-establishment. And so they basically said, Rage Against the Machine, all songs are banned from being played on the radio.
Oh Lord.
Red Hot Chili Peppers,
Mhm.
Aeroplane. The Rolling Stones, Ruby Tuesday. Frank Sinatra, New York, New York. Smashing Pumpkins, Bullet with Butterfly Wings.
Why? That's such a great song.
Bruce Springsteen, I'm Going Down, I'm on Fire, and War.
Wow. These are all good songs, though, but I understand the reference and why
U2,
they did
Sunday
that.
Bloody Sunday. Van Halen, Jump and Dancing in the Street.
Some of these songs,
The Zombies, She's Not Here.
I
She's
was
not there.
dying in the kitchen.
Yeah, there was 165 songs that they said, and so I listed just a couple that they said was lyrically questionable to play in the aftermath of the attacks.
Makes sense, though.
It was not an explicit demand to not play the songs listed, but rather a suggestion that they might not want to play these songs.
Makes sense, though. I mean, you think about it, because something like I put in, I don't even know what the heck I just wrote in the
And
description.
and then also like a couple of covers were asked to be not to played. So Bob Dylan's Knocking on Heaven's Door and the
Mhm.
cover by Guns N' Roses was also asked to not be
Not to be
played.
played.
Uh,
Because those took a while before they got to be played back on the radio.
yeah.
Because you gotta.
So I saw that, and the moment I thought that, I was like, you're right. What songs were they told not to play on the radio after 9/11? And I was like, because that's going to be an interesting thing. And to see there's an actual 165 item list. And this isn't to make note, but it is to think about during the times, because that was a question. What was the number one song on 9/11, which I still don't remember?
You could try. I found an article.
It was Jennifer Lopez's I'm Real and Alicia Keys' Fallen.
Wow.
Those were the two number one songs that were
not
being
allowed to be played.
no, that were being played. That
Oh.
was the number one song played during on 9/11. Those were the
Oh,
those
wow.
were on the
Okay.
top
I
hit
see what you're
list.
saying. Okay.
And then immediately after it was all the songs that were banned.
Wow.
Which Promania. Really great question, really great answer. Thank you for informing me of all the songs that were banned.
On that day.
On that day.
Which is a very tragic day.
It is a tragic day.
It is something that happened.
I also
Unfortunately, to our country, we've been hit with numerous things.
We have been.
April '99. The Murrah building. We've been hit with a lot of things, and what these people, and I'm going to say these people, do not seem to understand is, yes, very tragically, and your asshats for what you did. It brought everybody closer together.
I feel like,
and that's what they don't see. And that's, I mean, I tried to find some more information, and I could probably find it on my tablet of the reasons for them doing it. But it was a tragic day, very tragic day. I have my conspiracy theory about on 9/11 that there are stories going about certain things that it didn't happen. I mean, I'll get into it on Thursday. I won't get onto it now. But so
I feel like it did bring a majority of Americans together, but it did also ostracize a good majority of Americans. Muslim Americans were ostracized. They were, a lot of them, their temples got ruined and
they were targeted.
I
mean, they,
and
even though they here in the U.S. had nothing to do with it.
And there's the story of they were dancing in the street. There was never any such report. There was a report that was done, but it has been proven that it never actually happened. But
Yeah,
people use it as a way to justify
yeah,
that, yeah, it's all of these people. No, it's not.
It's not all the people. You can't base it off.
They're
of
Americans too. You don't think that Muslim Americans died in September 11th?
Yeah. Well, what I've found and what I've written out, I've tried to summarize because I have a bad habit of overdoing my research. I kind of go into full. Well, you've seen Titanic. I went into full depth. We went down that little hole.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get used to summarizing. Stop it, Willow. So apparently on this day there were 4 coordinated Islamists. What?
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, folks. How
Terry.
y'all doing? Hopefully you're enjoying the show.
Uh, Start again. On this day, there were four coordinated Islamist terrorist suicide attacks by a group called Al Qaeda. Now, I'm going to throw a fun fact in here. So remember this. Remember that we funded them for years. Okay, we funded them.
Yeah.
She told me this. She
We did.
reminded me of this. We funded them for years before finally
Because we
pulling
were
the plug.
fighting against Russia, so we gave them training and everything like that.
So yeah, remember that part too. That they were trained by
U.S. soldiers.
U.S. soldiers.
On U.S. ground. Was it in Phoenix, right?
I think so.
Yeah, they were trained in Phoenix.
So unfortunately, yeah. So unfortunately, I'm going to just round it up. There was almost 3,000 deaths. Of that number, there were 1,100 victims that still are remain to be unidentified. There were at least, from what I've read, I believe 20 people pulled from the rubble that were still alive. So, I mean, I'd rather wish that there were more survivors than there were deaths, but understandably.
What's really sad?
And that's as of August 2025.
The dogs. When they used the dogs,
the cadaver dogs.
They weren't cadaver dogs. They were search and rescue dogs.
Mm.
The search and rescue dogs they were finding were they'll find a lot that they'll get depressed once they stop finding people not alive. They'll start getting depressed.
Aww.
So I remember, I think it was during 9/11, stories of them burying themselves under rubble and having the search and rescue dogs find them under the rubble. So the dogs weren't so sad that they weren't finding
So
anybody.
they tried to help them cope with it.
Yeah, because the search and rescue dogs were a part of the team as anything else.
It's just like a police dog.
Yeah.
You know, when you do a job as a police officer and you're part of the canine unit, you know, that dog is your family. That dog goes home with you every evening.
Yeah.
You train with that dog. And when you retire, that dog retires, that dog is yours.
Yeah.
And it's probably the same with search and rescue. The dog is yours. So, as of right now, they are still continuing to use advanced DNA to try to identify the remains, and as many as they can. But unfortunately, over time,
DNA decomposes.
DNA it's dwindling or degraded, as I wrote. The full number of people killed was actually 2,753, but they still try to identify who they are from the fragments found. Unfortunately, they can't really do much because of the explosion and then the fire and then the rubble falling. Because of the fire, mostly because of the fire, it pretty much, what did I say it was earlier? Incinerated.
Yeah.
I'm going to say incinerated. Sorry. Those people that were in it, and all that was left was bone and ash. So there's not much they can really go off of. I pray that they can try, to continue to try to help families, giving them more peace and more solace at knowing, like the gentleman that jumped out of the window. They don't know who he is. They still have not been able to tell who he is. There's like 3 different people I think that they came up with, and they don't know who it was. And there was one child that was the youngest out of everybody, and there was an 85-year-old person. So when I do my research, just to give you a heads up, she listens to podcasts. I go straight to the internet. Sometimes, yes, I get my stuff from Wikipedia, and yes, I know that it gets messed with. Okay, I try to stay away from Wikipedia unless I really cannot find anything, about something. So this research I did not get from Wikipedia. There were questions underneath what I was looking at, and I always hit the more or see more, and it gives me details. Okay. When I look at this, there was something that I just found that showed. So there's an article that I did find, but there's also something that I seen on here. It showed the times of like when things were hit. That's the only thing I did not get was the times. And in all honesty, I'm like, I mean, people that were down there and that know what happened, I think Justin was going to be a year old. And I woke up and turned the TV on because I heard it on the radio. Because at that time, I still like listening to the radio so I can hear, like listening to music before I go to sleep. Well, I got woke up by the radio station back in Oklahoma. saying that the Twin Towers of New York have been hit. I was like, what? Okay, so I turned the TV on, and no joke, whatever the last channel was that I was watching, right there on the TV, it showed the Twin Towers, and they were getting hit. You know, I think at that time it was just the first one, and
That
then
have been
and
hit.
then after that, the second one it got hit, and I was like, what in the heck is our world coming to? You know, to where this is happening and taking place. You know, and so this is why I wanted to do this one because I wanted to commemorate and remember. And I know I cannot name all 2,000, almost 3,000
Yeah.
people, but just remembering this day is very important. You know, every year, like I said with the Murrah bombing,
Mhm.
every year this one always it gets brought up. It always
Mhm.
gets brought up. Oklahoma City, rarely brought up anymore. So
I also, and I hate to say it, I think part of my generation, we were raised on that it happened. I think Justin was a year. He doesn't remember. I think I was 3 or 4 at the time. So I think I remember seeing the towers hit. I think I remember my father turning off the TV, saying, or pulling me out of the room or something. I don't really remember. But I will say, when I was in high school,
yeah,
we had to watch a documentary. It was a documentary, and it wasn't just like, it was a full on documentary. It was not like middle school aged. It wasn't elementary school aged. It We should not have been watching this documentary. We should have been watching one that was like targeted towards a younger generation.
hmm
But like the documentary that I watched in like elementary, middle school, we were watching people jump out of the building. It was like we were there. We were watching like the news footage of people reporting. We were seeing it all in real time, except it wasn't like for I think you guys, where it
hmm
was slowly over time these things were happening.
yeah.
Ours was condensed into 2 hours.
Oh
And I
wow.
think, and I hate to say it, it's like, for example, there's a joke now where like you'll be talking to a friend and they'll like say something, and then you'll get a call, right? And then you just go, they hit the Pentagon. Like, it's a joke almost now. Like, we know the significance of it,
Yeah.
but the only way we really can cope with it is humor. We're like, this is all we can do. We've been taught about it, we've been showed it, we've seen it since we were so young that we're
Mm.
just like, at this point,
Yeah. So I kind of
it's humor.
while she was talking about that, I was looking to see the time frame.
Yeah.
You know, the timeline. I like timelines because it kind of gives you a more condensed, slow rundown. So we all know 9/11. So at 8:46, the North Tower was struck by American Airlines flight number 11. And then after that, South Tower was hit 17 minutes later at 9:03 by United Airlines flight 175. 17-minute difference is the most direct time difference between the two events of the attacks of the towers. So I had found something where it gave me more detail on it, um, but not it really. That's pretty much it. It's
Mhm.
kind of like there. I think there's also something like when did the towers fall? You know,
Yeah, because the towers didn't fall immediately.
see Twin Tower timeline collapse. Here we go. So let's see if it's on this one. Oops. The step-by-step collapse process. If I can
Mm.
talk. So the first one was aircraft impact and structural damage. The initial impacts from the airplane caused significant structural damage, dislodging fireproofing material from the steel support, which is one reason why it collapsed. The second one was fuel fed fires. So it's done.
So the fuel fed the fires,
Yep,
which made it
pretty
worse.
much. And that makes sense because that's a bit, and it was a Boeing.
Yeah, so they're big
It
planes.
was a huge planes that hit this, okay? Still weakening the heat from these fires which lasted for hours in some cases, caused the exposed steel columns and the floor trusses to weaken, bow, and start going down. Progressive failure. As floors sagged and weakened, they began to fall. The weight of the upper sections of the building then transferred the damaged core and caused it to start collapsing. Column buckling, the increased load on the fire weakened columns caused it to buckle inward, and then it, obviously there went that chain
Collapse.
reaction again. Let's see, floor by floor collapse. I can't talk. The collapse of each floor caused the massive weight of the upper structure to crash down onto the floors below, and then that's when it just went a pancake. It went
And
down.
then if I'm not mistaken, I think they said that the second one might not have collapsed, but the first one, the force of the collapse essentially solidified the second one's collapse.
Yeah. So it was not. I mean, it's there's a lot of the structural part of it, the planes hitting it, and where the planes hit it. You know, there were a few survivors that were on between the 84th and 91st floor. Um, some people were questioning, why didn't they take stairway A? They could have got out. People weren't thinking of that. They know that they were just stuck. Things were on fire. Something just
They thought
happened,
somebody was going to come and save them.
which did not
Sadly, did not happen.
happen. Um, so speaking of, it says on here that no one survived on floors above the impact zone in the North Tower. So that right there tells you in the one that got hit first did not, nobody survived that one. Um, there was no rescue because they were telling people to get out instead of staying in because you're putting more people in danger. I mean, we lost almost 3,000 people.
And I think also they may have been expecting a third plane. They didn't know if another plane was coming.
True. And then in total, we know that there were 4 planes. There was 4 total planes. So the hijackers, and we're not going to do names because they don't deserve to be talked about.
No.
I do have the names of the 4 pilots that did have something to do with it, of course. So there were 19 hijackers, members of the group Al Qaeda, and they came from 4 different countries. There were 15 that were from Saudi Arabia, 2 from the United Arab Emirates.
Emirates, which is usually where Dubai is. Dubai
Okay.
is in the United Emirates, if I'm not mistaken.
1 from Egypt, 1 from Lebanon. 4 of them served as pilots, and the rest served as muscle to overpower the passengers and the crew if they tried to do anything. So we already talked about how they were trained by United States military. She brought up a fact of after the aftermath and all that, that federal funding was cut from firefighters with health issues, but she also stated that it was reinstated. Some of them were reversed.
Some of it was so it was actually happened quite recently where Doge, they did fire. I think they said 20% of the workforce that was working towards making sure that the firefighters, the police force, most of the people who were there at the time were still getting treatment. I think there was a $297,000 grant that was rescinded, and then because of public backlash and scrutiny of why would you do this, are 9/11 firefighters, police officers, they were there, they were on ground zero. Why are you cutting their funding for cancer research, for mental health help, for treatments of any cancers that they have? Because quite a few of them have lung cancer. Quite a few of them have health problems now.
And it's because of
the towers falling.
Yeah, the debris and the fire and everything, smoke inhalation. Do not climb on my clean clothes, cat. Tataru,
Exactly.
get down. Do not get on my clothes. Get down. You're going to do it, you little turd. Okay. The hijackers and their flights. So
She wants to get in it.
She does want. No, Tataru, no. Okay, she's going to do it anyways. I've cleaned laundry over there and the cat's all digging herself into it. So, because there were 4 planes, I'm going to list not the names because there were too many names to go under each one. So, American Airlines Flight 11, there was one from Egypt and 4 from Saudi Arabia. And I believe 11 is the one that hit the North Tower. Oh, I have it written down below. Okay. So, so Flight 11 is the one that crashed into the North Tower. United Airlines Flight 175 had 2 United Arab Emirates and 3 Saudi Arabians. and that one crashed into the South Tower.
Hmm.
The American Airlines Flight 77, 5 Saudi Arabians, and that one, it crashed into the Pentagon in Arlington, Virginia. And then United Airlines Flight 93, 3 Saudi Arabians and 1 Lebanon. That one, it crashed into a field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, and that is due to the passengers and the crew trying to fight back and
Yeah.
to get control of the plane, which knew that they weren't going to be able to.
So they did the most drastic
But
thing they
where was
could.
that one going? Where it was supposed to go to the Capitol,
I
right?
think
You
it
said
was they had determined that it may have been headed to the Capitol, or yeah, I think it was they were planning on hitting the actual Capitol, like they were hitting the White House is where it was headed. They wanted to crash it into the White House.
yeah. So it's like the thought of people that, and again, some groups, when they're in groups like this and they really cannot stand the U.S., they're trained to follow what they're supposed to do.
Hmm.
What they're told. So this group, for all we know, can sit there and say, take out these major big points here,
Yeah.
take down what's going to hurt them the most for whatever reason that might be.
Yeah, because we don't necessarily know the reason. From from what I've heard, part of it was because they were mad that we pulled out all of a sudden,
From the funding
and we left them.
struggle, they
We
think.
left them. Yeah, we essentially were like, okay, peace, bye, and they were like,
So,
you gave us military training, you gave us weapons, you told us
mm-hmm,
to fight against this unknown force, and now we have no force to fight against. And so in the
yeah,
end,
they
we
decided
made our
to.
own worst enemy.
Yes, we did. And that's the sad part, right? With even now, these days, aside from this, that's all we seem to be doing is we're putting ourselves at risk. I'm sorry, we're not doing it, but you know what I mean.
People in office are.
Government is. So, whatever their reasoning. So, each of the hijackers and their roles, there was 4, like I told you. Um, I'm just going to do their first name because I'm not sure how to pronounce their last name. Mohammed was a tactical leader and pilot of the American airline Flight 11. Marwan is the pilot of the United Airlines Flight 175. I'm going to say Hani, pilot of the American Airlines Flight 77. And then the last one was, I have no idea, Zayad, pilot of the United Airlines Flight 93. Fortunately, there was no one that survived on the higher floor. There was one gentleman, his first name was Ronald. He went from the 84th floor to the 91st floor, then descended and became the last one out. Anyone below the 59th floor made it out safely. There were 4 people, including Ronald from the 81st floor or higher, used Smoky. I'm not sure what that means, but I was trying to look it up and see what it meant, but I really couldn't find anything. And when, I mean, they said descend, I'm sitting there thinking, did this dude just like, where they descend out of a building? Like, is that what it was that he did?
I think it was he descended the stairwell, because I think
Oh,
there
yeah,
was like
because,
major stairwells. There was two, and I think one of them was partially destroyed, so he was able to go up because he went down
yeah.
another set of stairs.
And speaking of that stairwell, so I found an article that was done on December 19th, 2001. Um, it's pretty much the whole article of the buildings, the twin towers. So I'm going to show you what the article looks like because I had to refine it again. But this is the article, and the story that I'm going to read is this one down here at the bottom with this gentleman in it. But this is the article, and you can see the little twin tower thing right there and what they're talking about. There's the angle of the planes of how they hit, all of that. So this is something that I found on the internet, not through Wikipedia, but on the internet. And so the gentleman that's down on this corner part, he that is Brian Clark. Brian Clark is the executive, or was the executive vice president of Euro Brokers, and which was he was in it was in the South Tower on the 84th floor. The firm's office took the brunt of the second jet impact on the 11th. So I'm going to read the article to you. Okay, so forgive me if I stutter or mess up on something. It says four survived by ignoring words of advice is the name of the article for this. Stairway was path to safety for some as others went upward. This was written by Dennis from the USA Today. I'm going to give him credit because he's the one that wrote it. I'm not the one that says, call it the Great Escape. Only four people survived above the 78th floor in the South Tower. They did it by acting against the advice of others and going down the stairs through smoke and debris. Dozens more, possibly hundreds, could have taken the same path to safety. Instead, they went up in search of a helicopter rescue that would never come. And it was scary that would be trying to get up there, knowing at any point in time this building is going to go down
I
because of what
think,
happened.
but I think they thought it because I think wasn't there a prior somebody tried to bomb the towers before. I think they did some sort of car bomb, some sort of like that near the foundations of
Yeah.
one of
And they
them,
thought that that was going to
and
happen.
they thought that that would have worked. So they went, "Oh, this building is so structurally sound, we'll be fine. We just have to go up and wait
Yeah.
for a helicopter." And then,
Unfortunately, it never came.
yeah,
The story of Stairway A is a haunting exception to an otherwise successful evacuation. These four survivors, plus about 10 people in the South Tower 78th floor elevator lobby, are the only survivors known to have escaped from the floors above the jet crashes. So that picture that I showed you, it shows how the planes went. Well, for us, it would be this way.
mm-hmm.
But when they're coming in, if even if you watch the video of how it comes in, it because it's turning,
Yeah,
so it goes like this, and then it goes in where it goes in. You so United Airlines flight 175 struck the 78th through the 84th floors of the South Tower at almost 9:03, 16 and a half minutes after a jet hit the North Tower. Brian Clark, executive vice president of Eurobrokers on the 84th floor, was standing against the west wall when the higher wing of the Boeing 767 hit his floor. So he was, I
he
mean,
watched it.
yeah. It felt like the building was going to fall, he recalls. The tower twisted. That gave me goosebumps. That just gave me goosebumps. Knowing this man is in here trying to escape, and he's describing
Yeah,
this building. It felt like it was going to fall, and then the building twists. Air conditioning ducts fell, floors buckled. Clark dropped onto a football stance. He locked eyes with Senior Vice President Robert Cole. Come on, everyone, let's go, said Clark, who was 54. As one of his company's fire wardens, he had a flashlight in one hand and a whistle in the other. Five Eurobroker colleagues walked with Clark into the hallway, turned left, and entered stairway A. At the 81st floor, they met an obese woman and a frail man walking up. You can't go down, the woman said. The floors are in flames. We have to go above the smoke and the fire. In the dark stairwell, the Eurobroker colleagues debated up or down. Clark shined his flashlight on the face of the person speaking. The woman carried the argument. Clark recalls. Four decided to climb up. Bobby Call, and Kevin York put their arms under the woman's elbows and helped her up the stairs, Clark says. As his friends climbed, Clark and a coworker, Ronald, and I'm probably going to butcher his last name, Dan Francisco, continued down. Clark heard banging from inside Fuji Bank's wrecked office. Help, I'm buried. Can anybody help? Yelled Stanley, a loan officer. Clark pulled him from the rubble and they walked down together. In the meantime, Ronald, struggling to breathe, turned around and headed up. Ronald climbed to the 91st floor. He lay down on the landing for 10 minutes, then moved by an intense desire to see his wife and children. He got up and pushed himself back down the stairs through the smoke and then stopped himself before. As he left the building, he saw a fireball rolling towards him. He put his arms in front of his face. He woke up 3 days later in the St. Vincent's Hospital. His arms were burned, Some bones were broken, his lungs were singed. He was alive, the last person out of the South Tower. Richard Fern, another Euro broker executive, was the fourth survivor. He was in an 84th floor elevator, doors open when the jet hit. He found stairwell A before the others and took it to safety. Why didn't more people use stairway A to leave the building? Two Corp employees came down from the 105th floor, but turned back in the face of the smoke at the 79th floor, not knowing the heavy smoke lasted only a floor or two more. USA Today identified 9 people in the stairway who went up in the hopes of a helicopter rescue. A helicopter rescue was not possible. The rooftop doors were locked, and the roof was smothered in smoke. Eurobrokers lost 61 employees. I can still see my friends helping that woman up the stairs. They were the heroes who made an unfortunate decision, Clark says. So, unfortunately, people, you know, did not make that by going back up.
Yeah.
The other article, like I can show Abigail this. This is so it shows you the angle. So you got it. So obviously the towers have 110 floors. Okay,
Mhm.
it shows you 110 floors. Um, the North Tower, the South Tower, or whatnot, right? So it shows a lot where victims worked were located. Firefighters climbed. So on here it shows 1,432. I'm guessing that's probably people,
That worked on the floor.
that worked on the floor out of 203. That were possibly that were gone. Last minute schedule changes saved some, doomed others. Schedule for vacation from windows on the World Restaurant. Heated request to work. He he had fortunately died. Everyone on the 92nd floor died. Everyone on the 91st floor lived. Below 92nd floor, 99% of estimated 5,000 to 7,000 workers escaped. 13 General Telecom employees were trapped on the 83rd floor, the largest pocket of death below the impact zone. And you think about it, where
Yeah.
they were at, it hitting between the 84 and the upper where they were at, right when you see the explosion, you pretty much already knew.
Yeah.
Firefighters climbed at least to elevator lobby on the 78th floor, nearly 1,000 feet. Handful of Port Authority workers converged on the 64th floor security command center after another tower collapsed. Um, it's a lot. There's even a narrow escape. The layout of the 74th floor. You can see there's stairwell C, it's blocked. Express elevators. Stairway A is open, and then B was blocked. So the only way for anybody could possibly get out is by going to stairway A because it was not blocked. So unfortunately, it's a lot. It's showing on the north side view of the North Tower, the plane. The angle of the impact was between 93rd floor and the 98th floor. On the other tower, the South Tower, it was between the 84th floor and the 78th floor. So pretty much anybody between those floors, they did not survive. They did not make it. There were 220 floors in all, but many were empty. Um, 12 floors in each tower were dedicated to mechanical equipment and a giant lobby. So that's all going to be obviously destroyed. In addition, dozens of Asian investment firms in the World Trade Center had closed their offices or cut employment sharply because of the recession in Asia. It goes on to, you know at 8:46 is when it hit the first tower. The first plane hit the first tower. The second plane it hit at 9:03. The 16 and a half or 17 minutes later. Um, Only one elevator was the quickest way for anybody to get out. And now they've done a very beautiful memorial for, the Twin Towers. It's like a water display,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like a little waterfall. display that they've done. My dad has driven down. He didn't go down there. He had to go to New York for a truckload or something. And I think he was the way he was trying to go. He literally had to find different ways because he still had it blocked off. From still trying to pick up debris, which that's going to take you days, if not weeks,
Years.
of trying to get that cleaned up. 16 minutes and 28 seconds. That was the length of the time between the first and second crashes. The fate of more than 2,000 people on the South Tower upper floors were determined by what they did during that time. Most made the right decision. They left soon after the first jet hit the North Tower. So, for me, I'd never been to New York, and I would really like to go to New York just to go visit the memorial and see it. But
I want to go to the subway.
do
I want
you?
to see the memoriam, but I also want to go to the New York subway.
I do too. I kind of want to do the subway as well. It'd be kind of fun. But I think for me, working in a place like that, you don't have time to react. It's all
Yeah.
shock.
It's
And
either
there,
fight or
and
flight.
I'm only saying this because there's probably people saying, "Well, if you've seen the first tower getting hit, wouldn't you think you'd want to get out?" You're
It's
not gonna know. You
it's
don't know.
your fight or flight response. There's fight, there's flight, there's fawn, which is where you stay still.
Yeah,
Um and you just stare at it. And then there's freeze where you physically can't move, where you're stuck.
yeah,
Um
yeah. I mean, it even shows that there were a few tourists who died. So there was probably about 30 that died that were, and I'm guessing you were able to go in and take a look at the Twin Towers and like see
I
inside it.
think
I
there was
think,
also restaurants on the upper
yeah,
floors.
there's one that's saying that the observation deck was not open yet, but a lady named Christine, a nurse from Winnipeg, happened that morning to be visiting her brother's office on the
Mm,
105th floor, and she unfortunately passed. Let's see, they're talking about the elevator was the hero because it being able to get people out. Says built by Otis Elevator, a modernized in the 1990s. The World Trade Center's elevator system was one of the biggest and fastest in the world. The 99 passenger
hmm
elevator, I never knew that, in the South Tower moved several thousands of people out of harm's way before the second crash. So hence why they're saying that elevator is a hero
Yeah,
because it got people
people
out.
out.
The elevators on the highest floors took people down to the 78th floor, and in the 78th floor elevator lobby, people transferred to giant express elevators that sped to the ground in 45 seconds. Wow, that I did not know. The two giant express elevators ran nonstop from the ground to the 107th floor in each building, but they were not in service.
Mm,
Yeah. So the elevators went to the not yet open observation deck in the South Tower and the windows on the World restaurant in the north. The bottom wing of the United Flight 175th ripped through the South Tower's 78th floor elevator lobby. The floor exploded into flames. Walls crumbled. More than 100 people lay dead or wounded from the initial impact. And I think I said that they found at least 20 people alive from the rubble.
yeah.
You know, uh, oh wow. The Aon Corp senior vice president Judy was thrown across the lobby and broke her arm. Her boss, who had been standing next to her, died. Another colleague's leg was broken. Goodbye, Judy. I love you, is what he told her before he died. So think of, sitting there thinking that your colleague tells you that's got to live with you.
That's traumatic.
That poor woman. According to her first person account in Ladies' Home Journal, that's the one thing that she remembers from this whole ordeal. A man with a red handkerchief over his face seemed to appear out of nowhere and pointed to the stairs. Anyone who can get up and walk, get up now, he urged the other people in the floor. And this is what she wrote in the magazine. A small number, perhaps 10, escaped down stairway A at the northwest corner of the building. If the jet hit just 10 feet higher or had not tilted sharply at the last moment, the crowded elevator lobby would have escaped most of the carnage.
Mm.
USA Today identified 76 people who worked below where the jet struck. Some victims were obese and frail, unable to finish the long walk down. Others were trapped in elevators. Some were just unlucky. General Telecom in the 83rd floor corner office in the North Tower suffered most. Everyone survived from the four other companies on the floor, 10 floors below the impact zone, but all 13 telecom workers in the office at the time perished. After the crash, half the employees went through a kitchen and a telephone equipment room to reach an exit. General Telecom Chief Operating Officer Bill Callahan said the door was blocked by debris or jammed shut from the crash's impact. When the workers turned around, the kitchen ceiling collapsed, trapping them in a 15 by 15-foot equipment room. Others were trapped in another part of the office. The employees were in communication with the outside world throughout, sending a pager message shortly before the collapse. On the 64th floor, 5 to 10 Port Authority workers gathered in a security command post equipped with video cameras and communication equipment. They talked about what to do and felt safer staying put than leaving the building. Port Authority spokesman Alan Morris said after the South Tower collapsed at 9:59, they tried to get out. They didn't make it. First Union, a bank, lost 4 employees who worked in the North Tower's 47th floor. One woman tired during the descent and stopped. The 3 men got outside but died when the South Tower collapsed. At Empire Blue Cross Blue Shield, 9 employees and 2 consultants died. Some deaths are understood. One man, for example, stayed on the 27th floor with a disabled friend. Both died. Other deaths remain a mystery. We suspect some were in elevators when the plane hit. Vice President Deborah said, we really don't know. And, there was something that I found astonishing. I was telling her, how many did I say? Over 13,000 babies were born on 9/11. So and this is just how my brain thinks that the people that we lost, what do they say when somebody dies, a new one is
Mm-hmm.
born? And I mean, that's 13,000 babies being born. We didn't lose that many people, but
Also, can you
wow.
imagine just having that on your birthday?
Yeah.
Being born September
When
11th,
were you born?
2001.
9/11. And having people tell you the story of that over and over
Over
again,
and
you're
over
like,
and over again on
I
your
know.
birthday.
I was born on that day. I get it.
I know.
Let's see. One more little article that I have here, and I can stop with the article. One survivor's story. On the North Tower's 92nd floor, 1 floor below the crash, 69 employees from Car Futures found themselves trapped. Most, perhaps all, survived the crash, but in phone calls to loved ones, the employees reported that the stairwells were impassable. They crowded together in corner rooms. As the floor filled with smoke, people appear to have lived until the building fell. Via phone, a mother told her son that the South Tower had collapsed. On the 91st floor on the North Tower, the story was different. At the American Bureau of Shipping, George Slay and his coworkers counted heads after the crash. 11 of the 22 employees were in the office. All were unhurt, other than Slay's area. The office was remarkably intact. Slay went back for his briefcase. The closest stairway was blocked. The second was open. The status of the third was unknown. It was quiet and peaceful at first in the stairwell as the employees made their way out, Slay recalls. Nobody was behind us. A few minutes later, Slay's office was engulfed in flames. 50 minutes after the crash, Slay was out of the building. Bruised, bloodied, covered in dust, separated from his colleagues, he was loaded into an ambulance. A police officer shouted, get out, the building's coming down." The South Tower was collapsing. It was 9:59. The North Tower's highest survivor was on his way to Beth Israel Hospital. "Sometimes I think it was God's providence that spared me," Slay said. "Other times I wonder why me and not others. I realize I am a very fortunate man." That's like,
Heartbreaking.
yes. I'm like, I'm not sure
Yeah,
how
because
to.
can you imagine survivor's guilt? Why did I survive and
Yep.
not all these other people?
Yep. It was, I mean, never knowing the impact, you know, of what somebody went through. Dang, our little thing is dark, isn't it?
Yeah,
Just noticing that. Is it going to bother you if I turn that on? Because you
you're
see, you
good.
have a headache.
I'm
I
good.
don't want to.
I'll survive.
I don't want to. You want your sunglasses?
No, I'll be good. I don't need my sunglasses.
Bright light, everybody! Bright light! Bright light! Uh, I mean, it's a lot to. It just seems there's a lot. There's probably a lot more info, a lot more information on this. Things that I'm looking at right now: people trapped above the impact zone died from smoke inhalation, fire, burns, or by jumping from the building in desperation. There was no rescue. They couldn't reach the rooftop. And if you think about it, if they put a helicopter, which probably weighs tons,
Mm-hmm.
if that even remotely put
Any weight on it would
any
have
weight on
collapsed
that,
earlier.
they would have lost even the helicopter and the people, trying to save people. Total trapped estimates suggesting that there were 1,344 people were trapped above the impact zone and perished. What was that? Hi, Angela. I wear my sunglasses at night. In this house, it seems like it.
Yeah, sometimes when the light's too bright.
In this light in here, so you get too bright because they're full of light bulbs. Um, let's. So there's a little question on here. It says, "Who is Bill Clark exactly?" And I know I went over it. He's, one of the executive vice presidents for Euro Brokers, a brokerage firm that offices in the 84th floor for the second tower. Well, that's a different Brian. Sorry, it's got Brian Emmett Clark, and he was a wrestler. It's like totally different Brian. All these little questions on here, I like looking at them because, and of course, somebody asked a question: did anyone who jumped from the tower survive? No, there was
Yeah, no,
no one
too
from
high
the
of a height.
tower, survived. We did discuss why the towers fell. Um, the impact of the airplanes damaged the building's structural columns and removing fireproofing, which allowed for rapidly spreading intense fire fueled by the jets. Excuse me. So,
The cat is underneath me.
Totaro has found ways to climb under the sheets on the couch. And hi, Angela. Totally understand. We are gremlins and light sucks some days. Yeah,
Yes.
it does. Every time I leave work, I'm like, bright light, bright light.
I'm half
Remember
tempted to
seeing
start
the
bringing my
news
sunglasses
and seeing
in.
the people falling from the towers.
Yeah.
I did not see that part of it, but I got to tell you this because I was watching a little bit on YouTube, and there, maybe it wasn't YouTube, whatever it was. Okay, it was social media related type thing. But I was watching a video, and no joke, as I was sitting there watching it because I knew I was going to be doing this podcast, and I'm sorry if I didn't go through everything on the information for this. It's just very heartbreaking to sit here and talk about it, just like it is with anything else, knowing of the lives that were lost. There were firemen and everything, I think, under the other tower, the tower that didn't get hit yet. You literally hear a crash from the bodies falling.
Yeah.
There were firefighters talking. It was like, they're trying to figure out what they're going to do, what they need to do. They got to help people. They were clearing the streets. They were getting everybody back as far as they can get them. And these firefighters, they're all standing under there, and then all of a sudden you see one, and I was like, what is he looking at? I didn't understand what he was looking at. And then you hear it crash. And I'm like, oh, please tell me that's not what I thought that was. And in the description, it showed that when you see the firefighter look and he's looking up, he's literally watching somebody hit.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I
oh, the therapy and
I remember in
woo,
my 7th grade history class when we were watching the 9/11 documentary, I
yeah.
remember she paused the video when it was like showing debris falling, and she goes, "Not all of that is debris. I want you to take a close look." And we were looking, and we
And
realized
what grade?
I was like 7th, and we
What is wrong
looked.
with your teacher?
I think she wanted to hammer the point that it was a tragic event. I think she
No,
want it traumatized all of us.
apparently you don't show this to seventh high school. Okay, I understand high
Yeah, yeah.
school. What?
And so we were like looking, and she's like, "Yeah, those
God,
are also bodies." And so we watched that in like 7th, 8th grade. We're sitting there repeatedly watching
no,
people jump. Every year we watch the
no,
same
no, no,
documentary.
no,
And
no.
yeah, I it's just one of those things. And that's why I said, like, when I was in middle school, we watched documentaries on 9/11, and it wasn't the kid friendly ones. It was the ones you would watch as an adult, like that air on TV right now.
Oh yeah, like okay. So what she talks about is there's like crap that I watch on TV
But
that
like it's like a History Channel one where
oh I
they
love.
go into depth about it,
Yes,
but like
they
they
do.
also get into the little bit of the gore about it, and
Which
you're
one?
like,
What was the one that I was doing? And I was it was the bombing. It was Oklahoma City bombing. They were airing it on the History Channel.
mhm,
It's like okay, I gotta watch this. And it was okay. Remind me. I'm sorry, I forgot the year. 92.
I think so.
I was 12. I was 12 years old when that took place. I was in high school, middle school, high school, I think. Um, and what was even weirder is while we were at school and that took place, my stepmom was at home and we lived in a trailer park area where we lived at. You could feel earthquake. Like it. I mean, the massive amount of crap that they used in that truck to blow
Mhm.
that up, for it to be felt so far. What the hell? Met a firefighter that went there after the towers fell to help. My kiddo's birthday is the 11th. We had a convo about the anniversary. I mentioned that. And I mentioned that he was like, how are you going to raise your child? Aw. I can see how him
Yeah,
asking that is like a viable
yeah.
question of like how are you going to bring this on like
Because like also that's, and I hate to say it, that's got to be like I can't imagine being born on a tragedy like that.
yeah, I couldn't either.
I
So these little questions I'll show you real quick. Okay, these are all the little questions that pop up that people will ask when they're searching, right? These are all
yummy yummy
questions.
yummy
So
yummy
there's a
yummy yummy
question
yummy.
on here. Could the Twin Towers have been saved? So let's look at that. And I kind of do research differently so everybody knows if you're just joining us. Hi, we're Abigail and Michelle, and this is on the
I
9/11. So we kind of do it differently. She does it within a week. I do it the day of. I do some the day before and then the day of. So could the Twin Towers have, and then my son chimes in every so often, have been
perfectly
saved?
timed.
Yes, and it's so funny because it does like right there. The sheer scale of the fires and limited time available made complete salvation of the towers highly improbable. Improbable. Prob. Yeah.
Improbable.
Thank you. I'm like, am I saying my brain second guesses itself when it's big words? Can you not put your butt up on me? I'm afraid she's gonna fart. Sorry. The whole time that she's gone on her vacation, dog over here toots twice, and it's kind of funny.
Yeah, she's a tutor.
Let's see. So, factors that made saving the towers difficult: structural damage and fires, improperly designed sprinkler system.
Hmm.
Didn't know that. Limited firefighting capabilities. Firefighters face challenges with water pressure, equipment length, and the speed and intensity of the fires, which made it impossible to reach the upper floors.
Yeah.
High impact zone. Well, I mean, look at where it look at where it
Hit.
hit. You know, inadequate building design. The buildings were not designed to withstand such an act of terrorism and the sheer volume of fire was more significant than the impact itself. Okay. Potential ways towers could have been saved or survived longer. Abigail kind of looks at me, looks like me right now, like, you're done.
I'm sorry, the
She's
headache
so
is getting
tired.
to me.
Do you need to take, oh, you can't
I
take
can't take
ibuprofen.
ibuprofen.
Can you take Tylenol?
I'm gonna make a joke. It's a
Okay,
politically
go
charged
ahead.
joke.
Go ahead, do it.
But do I want my child to have autism?
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's
Just the
wow.
whole. If you are
We always
pregnant,
wait for the day that they ban us for some reason because of the shit we say.
I'm sorry, but come on, saying
It's
Tylenol causes autism. I gotta crack jokes about that.
so okay. The potential ways towers could have been saved or survived longer. Strengthening the floor plates. Some studies suggest that the stronger floor plates at the impact points could have prevented the collapse of the lower section of the towers, allowing them to remain standing longer.
Okay, yeah, that would have been great
Improve
if
fire
we knew this was gonna
prevention.
happen.
Yeah, and you don't know unless they all, Al Qaeda
Unless
sent out emails to the government and they just
like
deleted it.
memos, like
They
yeah,
deleted it like,
memos.
and they deleted it like, what's her face? Clinton.
They said it on PK Seth once.
Oh my God.
They added him to a Signal group chat.
I mean, come. Oh God. Here come the jokes. Okay.
I'm sorry.
It's no, it's funny. I get it. I get it. So improve fire prevention and suppression. A more robust sprinkler system and better designed standpipes could have helped control the fires. So that tells me if they're saying that improper, that's a word,
Improper.
improperly designed sprinkler systems. I, Abby takes strong and sweet coffee with some kind of bread, muffin, or carb. Eat peppermint or
I will keep that in
peppermint
mind.
tea. I think we got peppermint
Yeah, I
tea
think we
over
do.
there. Okay. Let's see. Higher impact point. The higher impact point would have meant less weight above the damaged section, increasing the chances of the
So
core
the terrorists
structure.
should have just aimed it.
That's what it sounds like they're saying. Aim
Um,
higher. Just aim higher.
Yeah, just aim higher. Okay, we're not going to tell you how to do your job, but terrorists, aim higher. Oh my god.
That's what it's saying. We're not saying that, by the way.
We're just
We're just. That's what it is saying. Is for them to aim higher, pretty much. More time for evacuation. If the fires had been suppressed or collapsed so late, I seen your thing. More people might have had time to evacuate the upper floors. Okay, let's dive on that one. You can't evacuate properly if you don't know what's happening.
exactly.
You don't know that this kind of shit
what
is going to happen.
The Twin Towers were supposed to have a backup plan if planes hit them. They were supposed to have an evacuation plan for planes hitting them.
I mean, they probably did have an evacuation
They
plan,
had an
but not for that.
planes hitting them
Come
on the top floors. Oh my
Dumbasses.
god. That's just like victim blaming, I fear.
I'm gonna agree with you on that one.
That is just blaming the 9/11 victims.
Yeah.
That's just, this could have helped. Yeah, if they had prior knowledge.
Okay, so I found there's another question here. Says, was anyone found alive in the 9/11 rubble? Yes, people were found alive in the 9/11 rubble, though relatively few. Janelle Guzman McMillan was the last person rescued alive from the World Trade Center rubble, over 27 hours after the North Tower collapsed. Port Authority Sergeant John McLaughlin and Officer Will Domino was also among the few survivors found in the wreckage, rescued after about 22 hours. So, yay, I'm glad that they were found and they were rescued and pulled out. Janelle was on the 64th floor of the North Tower and was trapped on the 13th floor when the building collapsed. Um, John McLaughlin and Will Domino, these two Port Authority police officers were trapped for approximately 22 hours before being rescued. Others, a group of about 12 people, were pulled alive from the one stairwell in North Tower, and 16 people survived in another stairwell that remained intact from the 20th floor down when the North Tower collapsed. So I think I had said 20 people, but apparently it's more than that.
20. It was 20 instances, I bet.
Yeah.
Oh, Willow, you need to open your other eye.
Willow.
Willow, open your other eye.
She can't. Is it stuck shut?
It's
Willow.
stuck
Willow
shut.
is one eye Willie.
Uh,
Willow.
Willow.
Dude, your eye. Did you scratch your eye? Maybe. Willow, open your eyeball.
Willow, open your eye.
There it is.
Okay, I can see your
Jesus.
eye.
She's laying on the back of the couch, like, what the heck?
And her eye straight up. She's like over there, other eyed, wide
Hello,
open.
5 people. Thank you for joining us. We're just talking about the anniversary of 9/11. I didn't go into full deep context of it. I touched base on a lot of things, and now I'm just answering the questions that I'm finding here.
Yeah.
Um,
And we're judging some things too.
yes, we are because
yeah, let's victim blame the building.
Yeah.
How were they? Aim higher.
We're gonna make a T-shirt that says "Aim higher."
Don't do that. Did
Sorry.
you hear about the company that got sued?
Oh no!
There was a company that got sued because they made the Twin Towers, except they turned them into pizzas or lasagna, and then they had Garfield as a plane going towards the towers.
I wouldn't put pictures. I would just say "Aim higher." That doesn't mean I'm talking about that. Oh my
But they were
Lord.
like, that is so insensitive, and other people
Yeah,
were
it
like,
is.
but I'm thinking also, remember how I said earlier, my generation, from what I've told you, we've been shown this stuff, this graphic stuff, since we were
Because
middle school.
they're pretty much telling you, suck it up, Buttercup. You're gonna have to deal with it someday.
Exactly. It's kind of like,
they don't
oh yeah,
sugarcoat stuff. Their generation.
Let's watch people jump from the top of the building.
Let's
Great, fantastic. I'm forever traumatized by it, and the only way I know how to deal with it is start making jokes.
Mm-hmm. So here's one of the questions: how did they clean up after 9/11?
Yeah.
Cleanup after 9/11 attacks was a massive 8-month operation
Sounds about right.
that involved sorting through millions of tons of debris, which was trucked to the Fresh Kills landfill. That name sounds creepy.
I feel like that's the perfect place for the mafia to dump their bodies. Fresh Kills.
Oh my god!
I feel like the mafia bought that.
It was on Staten Island for further sorting to recover human remains and personal items.
I still feel like the mafia owns that.
Thousands. I'm getting hungry. Sorry. That was so random. My stomach is growling right now. I'm so sorry. That was the wrong moment to say that. Right after I say human remains, people, I do not like to eat people. Okay, let's just make that perfectly freaking clear right now. What are they saying? What was said? Hold on. Boomerang was a phone company back then. Their ads stopped right after this because they had a boomerang cut out of buildings. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know what? Beginning of the episode, we talked about the 160 some songs that were banned from the radio on September 12th.
And I got one of them right. Bodies. I expected that one to be on there though.
Highway to Hell and Stairway to Heaven are also on that list.
And TNT. What was the one that had me going in the kitchen?
Let me see if I can find it.
There was 2. I was crying on one. I literally was crying. While she finds out, I'll continue. Thousands of construction workers, firefighters, and volunteers work 24/7 using heavy machinery to remove rubble, cut steel, and clear underground tunnels and structures. A task made dangerous by the toxic dust and potential presence of body parts. And then they have a debris removal process, heavy machinery, and manual labor. Did you find it?
Yeah.
What was it?
Fallen for the first time.
That's so
I never saw this one. I think I skipped over it.
No.
Fontella Bass, Rescue Me.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, they all play now.
Yeah, they brought him back.
They brought him back, but they had put it on a temporary.
How long was the temporary hold? Does
They
it
did
say?
not announce how long the temporary hold was. They were like, these are like, I think they said that they had said that containing a list of songs that program directors felt were lyrically questionable to play in the aftermath of the attack. So after a good period of time, they were like, okay, we could play this back.
You know what makes me want to do now? If I go to do the Murrah Bobbing building again in the future, looking up what the songs were that day and what songs were possibly banned for that one. What'd you find?
Shot Down in Flames by ACDC.
Let's just say AC/DC songs were not allowed to be played.
Well, there was ACDC, Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap,
That's a great song. Though.
Hell's Bells,
Yeah.
Highway to Hell,
Okay.
Safe in New York City, Shoot to Thrill, Shot Down in Flames, and TNT. Oh, don't forget, Afro Celt Sound System featuring Peter Gabriel, When You're Falling, was banned for a short period of time.
You know what? We need to do a history podcast on music.
Yeah.
What? Is that half of his playlist? Oh
I know
God.
it's not funny.
But it's uncomfortable. No, it is funny because it's half of his playlist.
Oh, the spy
Spy
movie.
with Jackie Chan was redesigned because it was planned for him to stop a skyscraper from being blown up. Oh, damn.
Oh my gosh.
I did not know that. You know, one of these times, you know what? During a Q&A, we'll do that. Our next Q&A, we're going to do that. We're going to go through and we're going to name songs that were banned. Redone. Why is she making that face?
The animals. We gotta get out of this place.
You told me that one.
Oh, I think the one that really did kill you was I'm Going Down.
I was in the kitchen and I was cracking up.
Learn to Fly by the Foo Fighters.
That's not funny.
See You in September.
No.
Only the Good Die Young.
No, Free Fallin' was on there too by Tom Petty. And
Yeah, Fallen. Oh, I think it's Fallen Away from Me by Korn was. Fly Away by Lenny Kravitz. Bound to the Floor by Local H. Worst That Could Happen. Crash Into Me. Eve of Destruction. Crumbling Down.
Oh my God.
Paper and Fire. Metallica's Enter Sandman, Fade to Black, Harvester of Sorrow, and Seek and Destroy.
Most of their popular songs.
Yeah. Oh, and Oinga Boinga's Dead Man's Party.
Oinga Boinga? What the frick? Okay. Oinga Boinga.
You've never heard of Dead Man's Party?
No, I probably have. Just the name of the band itself.
I think that's how you pronounce it. Oinga Boinga.
Yeah. Huh? Yes.
Yeah. Dead Man's Party was also banned.
Whew, my lord.
Yeah, those were some of the songs that were banned. Some of the songs that I've been listing were also for a short period.
Again, on my playlist for Thomas.
Free Fallin' by Tom Petty, you were right.
Yeah, you had mentioned that one. I love
Boom
that song.
by POD.
Boom.
Another one, Bites the Dust by Queen. And my personal favorite thing on this is Rage Against the Machine. All songs.
Oh yeah.
Were recommended not to be played in the aftermath.
That's like, you might as well not even listen to the radio at that moment. But again, we understand why. We're laughing because of the song titles, but we get what it's saying. We get what it's saying.
We get what it's saying, but I'm just thinking, like, now, what songs would be banned if something like this happened?
Oh.
Yeah, what songs would be banned, do you think, Michelle?
What?
I feel like AJR's Burn Down the House would be.
Bang. Bang would be one. Yeah, I would have to say Bang by AJR would be banned.
Yeah, those were stopped for a little bit after Columbine. Those were also stopped for 9/11.
Yeah. I think Bang would be one, and then Burn Down the House.
Burn Down the House.
Oh, and the old song for the back in the 80s or 90s, burning down the. Another group had sang "Burning Down the House."
burning down the
I think
house.
"Bring Down the House."
I think that was also not.
Yeah. Oh, I need to go dump the ice. I will in a minute. So there was a lot that they did with.
I hate the fact though that New York by Frank Sinatra
I know.
was one of the things. I feel like that's one of the songs you should play.
Yeah, New York, New York. You start spreading the news.
Exactly. Oh, Bruce Springsteen's "I'm Going Down."
Yeah.
Yeah. Big Bang, baby.
I'm surprised that
Talking Heads "Burn Down the House."
Yeah.
Chop Suey.
Chops. It was dang it. Is it Billy Joel? What is it? Elmo's Fire or
Yeah,
something?
Elmo's Fire was also banned. Was also put on a
We
do not
start
play.
the fire.
A Walk Like an Egyptian. The fact that one was also put on a just a
Do
pause
not
for a
do not.
moment
Yeah,
was
that's not.
that's a
Wow.
the songs you least expect.
That's yeah, and that definitely on our next Q&A we're gonna have to
Look up major historical events and the songs that were banned on the radio after them.
yes, just to go off of it. So they had. So now the debris removal process, obviously heavy machinery, manual labor. They had a bucket brigade.
A bucket brigade.
You can't even say it either.
A bucket brigade.
There you go.
Bucket brigade.
Of workers cleared rubble, but soon large excavators and cranes were used to cut the massive steel beams and more debris. Logistical challenges. The operation included clearing debris from the surface as well from underground tunnels, parking garages, and massive concrete bathtub foundation. And that's what they say is bathtub. Sorting at the landfill, debris was transported to Fresh. They got to change the name. Fresh Kills Landfill, which was
Again,
reopened.
Mafia must own it.
Was
What's
reopened
perfect
to receive the
to put
vast
your
quantity of material. Here, the rubble was sorted into categories like steel, concrete, and personal belongings. I wonder if with the personal belongings, I didn't read anywhere where if they gave it to family members, surviving family members, or
Probably
anything
not.
like like that. Focus on recovery. The sorting process was crucial for recovering human remains, personal items, and evidence of subsequent investigations. What is there to investigate? Two planes, two giant planes hit these two towers. What is there to investigate? That doesn't make sense to me. Why would you put why?
That's why you have conspiracy theorists.
Well, we're going to get into that on Thursday. That's a stupid, whatever. Okay, we're going to get into it Thursday. You're going to be there, right? Because we're going to get into it.
Yeah, I'm going to be there.
Okay.
I might be wearing sunglasses, but I'll be there.
No! Where did it
She just lost all of her information.
I think I found it again.
Oh God. I just hear that.
That's something my son does when he plays games. Crock shenanigans. I forgot what it was now. You stupid piece of crap. I forgot what it was. Whatever.
But yeah, 9/11 was a terrible, tragic event.
Yes, it was. Oh, here's that one. That one question I was telling you guys about. Yeah. The youngest victim was a 2.5-year-old. That was on the flight. Oh, destination was to California for a family vacation to see relatives and visit Disneyland. But her obviously her parents were on the flight.
Disneyland, it follows us everywhere.
Yes, it does. There were 3 children that died, but she was the youngest of
the children.
The 3 of the children, yeah. Was there a daycare in the Twin Towers? Yes, there was a daycare. They risk their lives too quickly. Okay, so there were no children from what it's showing. No kids were harmed. The teachers were risking their lives to get the children to safety, despite the collapse of debris. Can you do the ice, please? Oh, before he plays that. So hit pause on it real quick. So John has some audio, and we can only play snippets. We can't play the whole entire thing of of that day on 9/11. And is this snippet of audio, John, from rescuers
This
from
is
the fire
the
department?
video that shows Oreo Joseph Palmer, who was lead or commander of the fire department,
Uh-huh.
who made it up to the 78th floor
Oh, okay.
and found several people already dead.
Okay.
I muted it
Okay.
because it won't let me pause it for some reason. But here we go.
You can only play little snippets, so.
This is the last recording we ever made.
That. Can you guys hear this? So that pretty much, I can't play any more of it because it will yell at us for doing so. But you
I
can
remember
hear
those. I remember that they used to play that in the documentary.
you can hear where somebody is talking to their chief, trying to figure out where he's at so they can get to him and get him out. Oh, here we go. Okay.
Unfortunately, he did not make it.
Yeah.
Nor did anyone that was in that battalion. But the bravery of going up 78 flights of stairs
To look for people.
to save people and try to get them to safety just shows the heroism of these men and women that chose to risk their lives to save others. And God has a special place in heaven for all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad that there are people out there that feel that killing someone else to promote your religion, your country, whatever it may be, it's sad. It's really sad. There are better ways of handling things.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
There is.
And being humane and sitting down. And you don't see this a lot in our governments and our politics and stuff like that. But we as a people, I remember after that happened, how America came together.
That's what we were talking
and
about.
singing American song, like Bruce Springsteen's song, "Born in the USA" and all that. But also understanding that we're not the same as other countries, and not knocking any other country, but we're not the same as other countries. And a lot of countries do hate us, and a lot of countries love us. But even if you're one of those countries that hate us, killing over land or whatever it may be, I find horrible. But anyways, I'll let you guys be.
Why are you eating your own arm?
I like alarms.
Arm. You lost me. So there's a question on here. What's in place of the Twin Towers now? So let's do a little bit of positive here. The original Twin Towers were replaced by a complex of new buildings, including One World Trade Center, the Freedom Tower, a commemorative 9/11 memorial with it's a reflecting pool in the footprints of the original towers and the other new towers. I was reading it was something had asked what was underneath the towers, the Twin Towers, and I'll go back to that. There was a large multi-level underground shopping mall at the original World Trade Center complex, completed in 75 and located beneath the Austin J. Tobin Plaza and buildings 4 and 5. The mall was known as the Mall at the World Trade Center, and it was destroyed on 9/11, though its location was rebuilt as a new shopping center that opened in 2016. I was like, oh wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know that there were, what was underneath it. Um, It's a pretty much ow. Seriously? Just kick me, little turd. But they rebuilt it in 20 and it opened in 20. What are you doing? Stop. Thank you. I'm having issues. Do not kick me again. She kicked me. It hurt. Let's see. The site also includes an Oculus, a transportation hub and shopping mall, and other buildings that complete the rebuild World Trade Center complex. Key elements of the rebuild site: One World Trade Center. What? A wrestler. Her dad passed away in the towers. She has always used the events near the or on 9/11 to honor him. Oh, when she goes to the ring. I don't know if I know who that is. Who was her dad? Maybe if I know her dad's name, I'll know who Vega. I don't know that name, but Vegas sounds familiar. I just want to know who he is. Um, this is a main skyscraper of the new complex and is the tallest building in the Western Hemisphere. It's also known as the Freedom Tower. So it's this. So it's that tower.
Mm-hmm. It's so weird to like. I know it's gonna be off track, but it's so weird to like watch old movies and then they do a pan over New York City and you see the Twin Towers.
Like Friends.
Yes, and you're like, oh, this was from before.
I gotta remember, right? I did that when I was watching Friends. I was like, I like Twin Towers.
I remember I was watching a movie and I was like, ooh.
Oh, now you got to watch Christmas Vacation. You're gonna see Twin Towers.
What? No,
They don't really pan that.
What
though.
was it? Was it the wedding date? They did a view of New York City and there's the Twin Towers.
Maybe like in the beginning.
Yeah, in the beginning.
She's going from New York to.
Yeah, and I was like,
away.
oh, that
brings back memories.
So many.
9/11 Memorial. There are two large reflecting pools built in the footprints of the original towers, form the memorial. They feature the names of the victims of the attacks, honoring their memory. The Oculus, a distinctive structure that serves as a
Transportation.
Thank you, transportation hub for the. I'm getting hungry again. For the New York City subway and
Michael Trinidad.
trains. Michael Trinidad. He was the analyst in the North Tower. Her real name is. But what was his wrestling name?
I don't think he was a wrestler.
She said he was a wrestler.
Oh.
Right? No, or she was the wrestler, but he worked at the Twin Towers, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think she was a boxer because the way she wrote ring, I'm thinking boxer.
All right. Well, yeah, because she put her name up and said she's a wrestler.
He wasn't a wrestler. She
was a wrestler. Okay. That's why I thought my brain takes a minute. Sorry.
It's okay. You're hungry.
Yes,
Your
I am.
brain is not fully.
So there's also a retail shopping mall too. That's the Oculus. They have Path in all caps, but it says Path Trains, as well as retail shopping mall. Several other buildings, including 7 World Trade Center, 3 World Trade Center, and 4 World Trade Center that have been rebuilt or constructed on the site to form the complete World Trade Center complex. So, I mean, that's a positive. They did not rebuild those 2 towers, but they just they added. Can you visit Ground Zero today? Of course you can.
Yeah.
It's open to the public 7 days a week, and you may purchase an outdoor memorial audio guide during your visit. What did they find underneath the Twin Towers? That's the parking, the subways, including the path and subway lines, and the mall of the World Trade Center. It was deepest levels, the tower's foundations extended down to Manhattan.
Oh.
And it says schist bedrock, a geological layer about 65 to 80 feet below street level, which was surrounded by the bathtub slurry wall that held back the Hudson River. During the post 9/11 cleanup, a 30-foot section of the 18th century wooden shipwreck was also. What? They found a shipwreck that was also discovered.
You know what?
Buried beneath the site. What?
You know what?
I gotta see this.
You know what? I found out that the Salem prisons that they held the witches,
You gotta
was
see this.
rediscovered in 1950 when trying to build a telephone company.
Okay, I love.
And they just lost it, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, this is a thing."
That's what they found. Look at that. I love history when they find things. That's so freaking cool. Look at that. A shipwreck. From the
Damn.
18th century, people. Wow. So we get 2 history lessons today.
Damn.
That's
History just wilding out, just appearing out of nowhere.
exactly. That's pretty cool though that they found something like that. It's horrible how they found it,
But it's pretty neat.
but
that
it's
they
pretty
found it.
cool that they did. What? So the shipwreck discovery. Why are we going into another whole thing? Revolutionary War era ship. During excavations following the September 11 attacks, a 30-foot section of a wooden ship, estimated to be found from the late 18th century, was found.
Huh.
Artifacts. The ship was found with various artifacts, including British military buttons and gun flints, suggesting a connection to the Revolutionary War period. Current status. The ship is currently being reconstructed at the New York State Museum as a public exhibit. We go to New York, we're going.
Okay.
I have to go see that. That is so cool. We gotta do a, you know what? Each time we have a Q&A, we should find something that remotely doesn't talk about what we're going to talk about on that Monday, like the other Mondays. You know how we already
Okay.
have it set
Yeah,
in
we have
place?
it set up. Which
Yeah.
reminds me, we need to start planning. We'll do it another time because I also don't want to. Not today.
I mean, we're booked all the way up to. That sounds so funny to say. We're booked.
We are booked. We are booked up to the second
November.
week of November. So we need to plan out the rest of November and December.
Because when we get back from our little getaway, which I'm going to have John record some video of our getaway, of what we're doing.
See, I'm not a big recorder when I go to
Well,
Disneyland.
for us doing, you guys did Oogie Boogie, so we'll just tell everybody. I don't care what y'all think. Judge me, do whatever you want. I don't care. We're going to go also do Oogie Boogie Bash. We've always wanted to do it. We have the extra money to do that. And so bought the tickets. We're going to go do it. I'm not going to tell you what my costume is. Some people already know what my costume is. But I'm not going to tell you on here. You're going to have to wait and see because I'll do it as a short.
Yeah.
Because it's going to interact with one of the. You freaking better be out there. Because if I put that damn thing on, he ain't out there. I'm going to be mad. Because they were saying that some of the characters weren't out there, but they take breaks too.
Yeah.
But it's also been warm.
It's
when
been
they went.
really warm. I was there. It was like 96 degrees, which, granted, from Arizona, not too bad. Mixed with like 67% humidity and virtually no shade covering in Disneyland. Terrible combination.
Yeah.
Awful.
The most shade that they ever have is really during the summer. And they have all the umbrellas and stuff in the line. Some lines don't have it, but they try to get them out as much as possible. But not for California.
And then they don't like have restaurants or lounges you can sit in, really.
Yeah, the lounges they got rid of, unfortunately. I think that was due to COVID. But yeah, so we're going to be doing our trip soon.
Yeah.
So we'll do a little snippet.
And you will have a pre-recorded episode with the Disney hauntings. She'll be doing some
Yes.
Disney haunting stuff.
Which I'm going to probably start doing my research for that Thursday.
Yeah.
The next few Thursdays. Because she does the next one. She's doing next Mondays.
Salem Witch Trials.
So, and I got a surprise on that one too, because went and picked out something for that one. So I think the next 3, because I have my conspiracy theories on Thursday, so I also have to do those. So I think when I come home, I love working from 5 to 2 now, because then I have the afternoon to do that. When I was doing the 9 to 6, or we were doing 8 to 5, I came home, I didn't want to do nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to write, I don't want to research, because
honestly,
it's too much.
Yeah, 5 to 2s are so much better, because by the time it hits like 4, I'm like, okay, cool, it's not bedtime. I can do whatever I need to do.
Yeah, so it's much better to do the 5 to 2s, because I can come home, make food, or clean up the kitchen, or do whatever, and then I can start doing my research for the Disney hauntings. Definitely have to start my research for the Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah,
because that's going to be a lot of stuff when I did the paper on him. I wish I could find my paper that I did. I might have it in my thing for Diane Gregory's class. So we'll see. I might be able to find my history thing on it because I actually did like a PowerPoint on it, which was fun. And then I can't really show the snippet of The Raven, which has John Cusack in it, but I highly recommend the movie because it's good.
It is a good movie.
I'm a huge fan of Edgar Allan Poe. I know I've said that. And hopefully when we move and get settled, I can decorate, my our little area because we're going to be doing separate apartments, and Justin's going to be using theirs for his gaming and stuff. So I'm trying to have to get the apartment complex to be close to each other.
Yeah.
So we're not walking far distances. So she's gonna have to come to our place just to do a podcast.
Yeah.
And we'll make sure we're on the bottom level so she's not climbing
Up the stairs.
But I want to do a they have townhome apartments. That's what I want to do is a townhome apartment. So we don't have anybody above us or below us, but we might have neighbors, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But so yeah. So that's pretty much kind of summing it up in a sense of 9/11. There's not a whole lot. I thought there was going to be a little bit more info, but then when I found those questions, like, you know what? I'll just read these and go off of those and read the questions off just to get, because there's not really much more to tell about the Al Qaeda and their reasoning for why they did it, because you can't really ask why.
Yeah.
They all perished in each one that they did. So
yeah, and then you can't really ask Bin Laden because
yeah, he got taken out too.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it's a part of history and it needs to be talked about just
And
like anything
discussed.
else and discussed. So I mean, that's pretty much the 9/11. And like I said, this Thursday I'll be doing the conspiracy
involving 9/11.
involving 9/11 and going from there. I did the death of Nero last week. And that was pretty interesting. And the man married his cousins, and then he married a young man after he castrated him.
Yeah.
So it was like, dude,
sounds about Nero.
Yeah. And I'm like reading all this, and I'm all like, all right. And I even said, I go, incest alert, just throw that out there. It's what it was. But I think that was a pretty decent conspiracy theory for that. I mean,
yeah.
I don't do a whole lot of crafting much anymore. When it starts cooling off, I will. But with us moving, there may not be any more crafting videos
for a good little bit.
Because we're going to start packing, cleaning up, and blah, blah, blah. So I already bought the first tote. It's actually going to go for the office. I'm going to pull everything out of that little closet. But I'm going to get off here because I'm starving. Because I want food. And I'm going to take a shower because then I got to go to bed.
Because she has to go to work early in the morning.
I have to be at work at 5.
I get one more day
in the morning. So.
And I'm going to spend that writing the rest of the Salem Witch Trials episode.
So love you all. Thank you for coming on here. Thank you to the people that have subscribed. Keep subscribing, keep sharing, and hit that notification bell. You'll be in at 4. I think I'll be there before me. Come let me in. I want to get there.
5:30.
4:30. Let me in. I usually don't leave the house till 4:30. So
Justin wants to leave the house at 4:30.
Yeah.
So we get there at 4:45.
I think you're taking him to work, Dawn.
We're not taking anybody to work
tomorrow.
Yeah, we're not going to do it.
Oh, you're not going to the store?
No.
Oh, so I can take the car?
Yeah.
Okay. Plans change. Woo! So I get the car tomorrow. All right, guys. Thank you. Thank you to Thomas and Angie, who are our moderators, helping us keep it sane and clean on our end. We appreciate you both. And we're going to get off here, go eat. She's going to take some time off. She's able to. So she get rid of her headache.
I'm going to drink some peppermint tea.
Yeah, have some peppermint tea. Going to go eat, lay down, whatever. We're just going to go do stuff.
It's been a long,
I'm getting to that point. It's just a bunch of hocus pocus.
It is just a bunch of hocus pocus.
Yes, that's a bunch of crap. So, all right, guys. Love you. See you later. And have a good night. Have a good work week. And whatever else you're planning on doing.
We will see you next Monday.
Yay.
Monday.
With our surprise. Okay.
Yes, Monday with our surprise.
Bye.
Bye.